In the quiet town of Maplewood, where front doors stayed unlocked and kids sold lemonade on sunlit corners, Sundays were for porch swings and the soft hum of a world at ease. It was just past 10 when I took my grandson, Tommy, to Riverside Park. At 6, he gripped a toy helicopter and a juice box, both forgotten the moment he hit the swings, his laughter bursting like a summer storm, wild and free. Behind him sat his great-grandfather, Walter Stone, 82, or so he said. Time seemed to slide off him like water off glass. Walter was a man of few words, his eyes sharp as a blade, always watching, never loud. He carved bits of wood into odd shapes, fed sparrows, and read old espionage novels with a smirk, as if they missed some secret truth. Family whispers painted him as a ghost from another life, covert ops in the 70s, missions in jungles, orders he defied. They said he was erased from the books for sparing lives he was told to take. No one knew for sure. Walter never spoke of it. But sometimes, in the way he moved, you saw it, a coiled precision, waiting. That morning, the air smelled of fresh grass, and Tommy's shouts of "Higher!" drew a rare half-smile from Walter. I thought to snap a photo, something to frame when life got loud again. I never got the chance. A truck rolled in, black as oil, too clean, no plates. It stopped at the park's edge, engine growling low, like a beast stirring. 2 men stepped out, young, maybe 30s, in tactical vests with patches screaming, "Neighborhood Compliance Unit." One held a clipboard, the other wore black gloves, pointless in the heat. Their eyes swept the playground jungle gym, picnic tables, a dad pushing a stroller, then locked on Tommy. "Swings are restricted," the taller one barked. "Violation of Ordinance 14B." The words hit like a slap. This was a public park, always had been. No HOA ruled here. Tommy slowed, sneakers scraping mulch, confused. "What's he mean, Grandpa?" Before I could speak, the tall one strode forward, boots crunching. I opened my mouth to protest, but he didn't pause. He shoved the swing. Tommy flew, a blur of blue jeans and a sharp cry, hitting the ground hard, elbows scraping bloody. His helicopter snapped in two. I ran, heart pounding, as parents gasped and a mother pulled her toddler back. Kneeling beside Tommy, I saw his face twist in pain, blood welling on his arm. Then I heard the bench creak. Walter stood, slow, no cane, his windbreaker brushing his sides. His face was still, but his eyes burned cold. The men laughed, the shorter one pulling out a phone, filming. "Kids gotta learn rules," the tall one sneered. "This ain't your playground anymore. Safety initiative." Walter stepped forward, silent, each step soft, deliberate, like a predator closing in. "You're not cops," he said, voice low. The tall one spun. "Back off, old man. This is compliance business." "You're not compliance either," Walter replied. The air thickened, heavy with the promise of something breaking. The tall one smirked, stepping closer. "Wanna make this hard, Grandpa?" Walter removed his cap, folding it neatly. A faint smile flickered, and I knew something had woken in him. Tommy's cry had flipped a switch. The men didn't see it coming. Walter moved, not fast, not frantic, but with a purpose that made your skin prickle. The tall one reached for his belt, a bluff, but Walter was already there. His palm hit the man's chest, not a punch but a force, precise, pulling him off balance. In one fluid motion, Walter twisted the man's wrist, lifted him, and sent him crashing face first into the sandbox, sunglasses shattering. The second man stumbled back, hand darting to his pocket, but Walter pivoted, seized his arm, and swept his legs. The man hit the ground, shoulder popping, a sound that silenced the park. 6 seconds. That's all it took. Both lay sprawled, one groaning, one still. Walter walked back to Tommy, knelt, and dabbed his scraped cheek with a faded handkerchief, gentle as if he hadn't just dismantled 2 men. "You okay, champ?" he asked. Tommy nodded, trembling. "That's my boy," Walter said, smiling. A crowd gathered, phones out, jaws dropped. "Call the real police," Walter said, voice carrying undeniable weight. Don't touch them. They're not done lying. The shorter man stirred, cursing, trying to rise, but collapsed with a wince. Sirens wailed in the distance. I held Tommy, his fingers tight on my sleeve, as Walter squeezed my shoulder, steady as stone. Stay with him. Don't let fear stick. When the police arrived, 2 cruisers crunching gravel, the sergeant approached cautiously. Walter nodded toward the Sandbox. 2 imposters assaulted a child. The officers watched phone footage, saw the fake IDs, cheap laminates from an office store. Jesus, one muttered. Walter sat back on his bench, feeding sparrows, as if nothing had happened. But we all knew, this was no ordinary man. This was instinct, honed in shadows, unleashed for one boy. The video exploded online, hitting 2 million views by Monday. News vans swarmed Maplewood, headlines screaming, "Grandpa Hero flattens fake cops." Walter shut his flip phone and ignored the reporters knocking. "This ain't a circus," he told me. "I stopped 2 thugs from hurting a kid. That's it." But the internet disagreed. A grainy photo surfaced, Walter, younger, beside a jungle helicopter, captioned with cryptic code, WS-317B, Laos 79, mission cleared. Reddit thread spun wild theories. Ex-CIA, Black Ops legend, a ghost who trained spies. The park became a shrine. Notes taped to Walter's bench read, "Thank you, Mr. Stone." A plaque appeared. "The Guardian seat, 2025. Never unprotected." Veterans left coins, a glove, a folded flag. The mayor arrived with a gilded key to the city, praising Walter's courage. He handed it back. "Does it open anything real?" he asked. "I'd rather kids swing safely." The crowd froze, the mayor stammered, and Walter walked away. Behind the scenes, the truth unraveled. The men, Cal Brandt and Derek Voss, weren't lone scammers. They were cogs in a predatory network, posing as HOA enforcers to extort homeowners, elderly widows, single parents, with fake fines and forged liens. Some lost homes. Their truck traced to a shady Nevada lease. Their IDs linked to fraud cases across 3 states. Brandt cracked in custody, whispering, "They said no one fights back." The FBI swooped in, exposing bribed HOA boards. Walter followed the news silently, pausing only at a photo of a widow evicted from her home. That night, he oiled his gate's hinges, a small act of control. The town hall was packed when the mayor, Ellen Carver, announced reforms, registered patrols, body cams, no private enforcers without oversight. "We thank Walter Stone for exposing what we ignored," she said. Walter, in the back row, only nodded. Outside, he told her, "Thank Tommy. He's the one who got hurt." A new sign went up at Riverside. "All enforcers must show city ID." Inspired by a child, his grandfather, and one act of defiance. Tommy saw it, grinned, and climbed the slide, reclaiming the park. Walter watched, feeding birds unchanged. Weeks later, a letter arrived, Department of Defense seal, no return address. It reclassified Walter's 1983 defiances of viewing a family he was ordered to kill as ethically justified. He pocketed it without a word. In the backyard, he taught Tommy to listen to the wind, to notice trouble before it struck. "The world's not fair," he said, snapping a twig. "But you choose to stand up." Tommy swung again, fear fading, a note from Walter taped in his locker. "Watch the breeze. Stand tall. You're stronger than you know." Walter never sought the hero's mantle. He didn't care for fame or apologies the HOA never gave. He cared for Tommy's laugh, for swings that stayed safe. The park lived again, kids shouting, balls bouncing. Walter sat on his bench, a man who'd fought in shadows, now guarding the light. He hadn't changed the world. He just made sure his corner of it stayed whole. And that was enough.